He faked being a good guy for a girl for 10 years. Then, he decided to become the school's most notorious bad boy. Jiang Jixiong's transformation began the moment he saw his childhood sweetheart, Han Suasian, holding hands with school bully Shin Jiangqiu. On the surface, it's all sweet reconciliation. The scumbag Shin Kyungchul showered her with sweet talk, and they're holding hands, back together. But look at his face. The only thing on his mind is how to turn Seo Jin into the perfect bait for Kang Ji-woong. Kyungchul leads Seo Jin back to Lucky Apartments, starting step 1 of his manipulation. Then he spots something strange. Seo Jin's hair, it's short. Too short, like his uncle's men. That's not right. Something's very wrong here. A fake date, a step in the trap. Kyungchul plays the doting boyfriend, and Seo Jin happily makes plans. The sweeter her smile, the darker my foreboding. His inner monologue says it all. You're the perfect bait for Kang Ji-woong, you idiot. Meanwhile, Seo Jin faces interrogation from other students, crumbling under pressure. The social backlash hits first. Just by being linked to gangster Kang Ji-woong, Seo Jin instantly becomes the school's laughingstock. Teased to her face about wanting to be a gangster's wife. The frustration, rage, and humiliation boil over. I didn't fall for him because he's from a gang. Her final defiant roar. Meanwhile, Lee Yu-ji's crew is also talking about Ji-woong. They aren't afraid. They're intrigued. Now that we know he's Yakuza, we hit the jackpot. Even Yu-ji starts fantasizing about a buff, bad boy version of him. Oh, girl, you've got it bad. The atmosphere in the school hallway shifts instantly. Members of the senior gang, Mujijinjiang Alliance, are here, asking for Gun Yivok. Their leader, Lee Dubal, seems to be provoking, but his words are layered. Seo Jin's worry kicks in. If Ji-woong had allies, the calm before the storm is officially over. Speak of the devil. Right at the peak of the tension, a figure emerges. Lee Dubal and his crew freeze. That aura, that sheer presence, it's Kang Ji-woong. He just showed up, cutting through all the veiled threats and posturing. Collective jaw drop. Is this really the guy who took down 2 thugs single-handedly? Big head, Yeom Daesung steps forward, hand out for a friendly shake. But look at Kang Ji-woong's face, that slight smirk. Ice cold. A trap, starting with a handshake. First power move. Jang Song-jae, this idiot, tries to crush Ji-woong's hand in a dominant grip. Even a gangster should reciprocate a greeting, right? Huh, you're done for. Ji-woong's icy question. Are you Shin Kyungchul's friends? Kicks things into high gear. Jang Song-jae is still scheming internally. How is his grip this strong? He's in disbelief, pushing harder. He has no clue he's messing with the wrong guy. The screaming starts in 3, 2. That's the sound of bones crying out. Crunch. Song-jae's ring-wearing fingers are contorted by Ji-woong's monstrous grip. My ring. Still worried about the ring. His hand is about to be pulp. Ji-woong's power is on display in the most brutal way possible. Yeom Daesung sees his buddy in trouble and lunges. Big mistake. Ji-woong catches him midair with one hand. You struck first, right? That one line ends this fight before it even started. In front of Yu-ji, these two just turned into Ji-woong's personal high video. This is an absolute beatdown. Pure satisfaction. Song-jae's arm is twisted into a pretzel. He's on his knees, begging, I surrender. I surrender. And Ji-woong? He just stands there, watching. No emotion in his eyes. This isn't a fight. It's a statement. Judgment passed. Ji-woong's cold warning. If I squeeze harder, your arm breaks. The two guys who were so full of themselves are now on their knees, shaking, muttering I'm sorry over and over. All their pride, shattered against overwhelming power. They flee with their tails between their legs, leaving a hallway full of stunned silence. Kang Ji-woong was always this strong. The entire school's perception of him is shattered. And Lee Yu-ji, watching him walk away, feels her heart skip a beat. Yu-ji rushes over, checking if Ji-woong is okay. The look in her eyes, the concern, impossible to hide. But Ji-woong is laser-focused on one thing. They're Shin Kyungchul's friends, right? The moment he asks that, Yu-ji's heart sinks. A major declaration. Ji-woong looks straight at Lee Yu-ji and says, word by word, everyone else, every thug I see, I'm going to take them all down. In this moment, he's not the Yakuza heir. He's an avenger, declaring war on Shin Kyungchul's entire crew. Switch to Shin Kyungchul. He's playing the victim perfectly for Seo Jin. I'll treat you right, and I'll talk to the uncles. Seo Jin is on the verge of tears, but she has no idea this entire act is just to pry out Ji-woong's weak spot. His act barely holds. His lackeys show up, immediately spotting his bruised face. Hey, Kyungchul, what happened to your face? Seo Jin's worry and his boy's curiosity. The humiliation hits Shin Kyungchul like a truck. Kyung-chul hurriedly sends Seo-jin away. My Kyung-chul is so cool with his friends, she thinks clueless. The moment she's gone, the mask drops. Who hit you? Was it Song Jong-suk? The fire of revenge is blazing in his eyes now. The truth slaps him in the face. No, it was Kang Ji-woong from your class. This shatters Kyung-chul's reality. That scrawny guy. He can't process being humiliated by the person he looked down on most, and his Yakuza uncles. Kyung-chul is spiraling. I will find someone to take down Kang Ji-woong. His solution? Call in the big guns. The actual third-year kingpin of Jilin High, Lee Do-ball, Lee Yu-ji's own brother. He's aiming to use the big fish to eat the shark. A revenge plot is hatched. Don't worry, I'll talk to Do-ball Hyung. Shin Kyung-chul's eyes are venomous. What's so great about a gangster? Kang Ji-woong, you're dead. This schoolyard feud is about to escalate into a full-blown gang war. Cut back to school. Life seems normal. Yu-ji is at the school store, shopping and maybe trying to learn Ji-woong's preferences. She's blissfully unaware her own brother, Lee Do-ball, is now at the center of a plot to destroy him. A spectacularly awkward moment. Yu-ji happily buys snacks Ji-woong hates, thinking she's scoring points. Ji-woong drops the truth bomb. I don't really like that. The snickering from onlookers makes Yu-ji want to disappear into the floor. Trying to help, Yu-ji steps into the role of strategist. She starts breaking down the school's power structure for Ji-woong. The first name she gives? Her brother, Lee Do-ball, the strongest third year. The very person Shin Kyung-chul is seeking out. Yu-ji's analysis cuts deep, exposing Shin Kyung-chul's weakness. He only got his position because he's my brother's junior high friend. He can't really fight. Every word she says is unknowingly setting Ji-woong on a collision course with her own brother. The full map of enemy forces is laid before Ji-woong. The Mujijinjiang Alliance, over 100 strong across multiple schools. Faced with this army, Ji-woong's resolve hardens. He'll take down every single bad guy he sees and become the worst of them all. A quiet switch to the gym. Lee Do-ball, the strongest big brother Yu-ji described, is talking with the student council president. The president's words make his expression shift. So you already knew. What's really going on beneath his calm facade? Do-ball challenges the president. Why is our school so quiet compared to others? He looks at the model student with a mocking glint. Just because we're a prestigious school? This tears open the dark undercurrent beneath the school's peaceful surface. A storm is brewing, waiting for a spark. And I smell a setup. Kang Ji-woong, what's your next move? Decades of acting ended in a blink. As Kang Wai-soo stands before his family stronghold, greeted by a sea of hardened men, he sheds his gentle mask. The nice guy is dead. From this moment, he vows to show the world, especially the one who broke his heart, the true legacy of violence running in his veins. Talk is cheap. He goes straight to his family's enforcer and lays it out. I want to become a bad man. The only question asked, is the reason you had to be good still around? The answer is no. His old life is over. The countdown to revenge begins. The transformation begins from the outside in. Hair, clothes, even his smile all banned. Their new motto, a real bad boy only moves for profit. But when he sees a wall plastered with good deed awards, doubt creeps in. Was this all an act just for her? Or have I been lying to myself all along? The next day, the school is in shock. The quiet nerd is gone, replaced by a gold chain-wearing street thug. It's a visual earthquake. But when his childhood crush smiles at him, his new don't greet first rule fries his brain. He's trapped in his own costume, fumbling like a toddler. The world shuns him, yet she tries to get close. But Waisu lashes out like a wounded animal. Who changed first? He throws the accusation like a dagger. 10 years ago, your words shaped my life. Now, you're shaping it again into this. He walks away, each step burying a decade of memories. Equipped with theory and a new look, he needs practice. Step 1. Skip class. To learn how, he embarks on his first ever stakeout, awkwardly following 2 kids who ditch school for ramen. He's a total newbie at this bad boy game, stumbling through the tutorial. His targets? Shin Kyung-chul and another girl, arguing. Waisu jumps to conclusions. He's bullying her. In a clumsy rush of justice, he grabs a rock to being the villain. And BM hits the girl, Lee Yu-ji, square in the forehead. Mission aborted. From wannabe hero to accidental villain. Fast forward. Kyung-chul's lackeys think the new guy is an easy target. Big mistake. Kang Waisu dispatches them with terrifying ease. 1 punch each like swatting flies. Lee Sol-ji, witnessing this, is left speechless. How did the school pushover turn into a final boss overnight? Waisu drops his mission statement to Sol-ji. I'm going to take down every thug in school, except you. Meanwhile, News of his men's defeat reaches Shin Kyung-chul. Humiliation on top of injury. His bruised ego ignites into pure, unhinged fury. A vicious plot begins to take shape. On one front, Kyung-chul rallies his crew, plotting revenge. On the other, a bizarrely domestic scene. Sol-ji tries to buy Waisu a drink, but gets her own favorite flavor. Then, she proceeds to drop a bombshell guide to the school's gang hierarchy. The top dog is my brother Lee Do-hyuk, but you really don't want to mess with judo club Song Jong-suk. A powder keg of names is revealed. Waisu doubles down. I'm going to flatten every single bad guy I see. But in the shadows of the gym, a more dangerous player emerges. Lee Sol-ji's brother, Do-hyuk, meets with the student council president. Calling Waisu an incoming typhoon, he smiles. The eye of this storm is about to vanish. Kyung-chul finds Do-hyuk and spins a tale of epic victimhood. Big bro, a dozen gangsters jumped me. A complete lie. His goal? A classic borrow knife to kill strategy. Use Do-hyuk to eliminate the biggest threat, Song Jong-suk, while he handles the gangster son. A pact of pure malice is sealed. The trap is set, tomorrow at noon in the gym. Challenge him to a one-on-one, then we all jump him. Kyung-chul walks away, practically floating with smug victory. Little does he know, he's not the player in this game, but a pawn with an inflated ego. Do-hyuk assembles his crew. The mission: ambush Song Jong-suk. Even his own men are confused. Boss, isn't he your underclassman? Do-hyuk's reply is pure mafia calculus. Business comes before sentiment. A brutal internal betrayal is set to unfold under the gym lights. Meanwhile, Sol-ji watches Waisu with a sinking heart. If her own brother is on the wrong side, will Waisu go after him too? If he wins, does that make Do-hyuk just another stepping stone? Torn between family and her budding, complicated feelings, she's caught in the middle of a war she didn't ask for. A pivotal twist. Waisu's lifelong best friend, Jong-woon, finally corners him. Sitting on a bench, the air is thick. Jong-woon's opening line is a gut punch. I'm disappointed in you. Waisu braces for the anger over his gangster lineage, but the heart of the betrayal is even deeper. The real blow lands. Jong-woon isn't mad about the gangster blood. He's shattered because, why did I have to hear it from someone else? Was our 10 years of friendship worth nothing to you? Not even the truth. It hits Waisu like a truck. The deepest wound isn't opposition. It's being shut out by the person who mattered most. Waisu breaks down, confessing years of struggle and fear. Against all odds, the raw honesty disarms Jong-woon. Hearing you say that, I'm relieved. His anger wasn't about the gangster life. It was about losing his friend to a cold, distant stranger. In an embrace, the ice melts. True friendship means loving the flawed person, not the perfect image. Friendship repaired, school life implodes. Uncle Dae-wook drops the hammer. Starting tomorrow, you won't be attending school. It's full-time gangster air training. The news bombshells his new circle. Calm Waisu stands at crossroads. The normal life he just clawed back, or the bloody, inescapable throne his family has built. At the school gates, his friends send him off with a mix of sadness and wariness. Come back when you're stronger. He takes one last look at the world he knew, then turns his back and follows his uncle into the gated world of legacy and blood. A new chapter begins, but the names Shin Kyung-chul, Lee Do-hyuk, and Song Jong-suk remain unresolved. A deadlier storm is still brewing in the shadows of the gym. Fast forward past the factory showdown. The danger is gone, but the tension skyrockets. Uncle Yang Jae-wook's men become the world's most aggressive wingmen, shoving Waisu and Lee Yuji into the same car back seat. The door slams shut. Inside this tiny space, the air crackles with awkward heat. Both of them are blushing furiously, barely breathing. The drivers share smug looks through the mirror. On the way to her motorcycle, the drivers level up their matchmaking. Sharp brakes, accidental closeness. They're setting up every rom-com trope. Waisu steadies a flustered Yuji, his hands burning. As they get out, the drivers call out with a wink. Young master sees the moment. The air is thick with romance, and Waisu's sheer panic. In a rare show of care, Waisu insists on taking her to the hospital first. On her motorcycle, the night wind mingles with a quiet tension. You can hold on to me, she says softly. Adolescent awkwardness and the roar of the engine blend into pure magic. After the hospital, they're like a couple of goofy kids, bantering under streetlights. He looks at her and says, earnest as ever, you're a bad person, but a good one. Her heart practically leaps out her chest. The atmosphere is electric, perfect, until Waisu opens his mouth. You okay? This clueless line shatters the mood like glass. Infuriated, she snaps, you absolute blockhead, loser, and storms off. He fumbles, tries to grab her arm, and smack accidentally smacks her leg instead. They went from romantic tension to assault charges in 3 seconds. The disaster reaches its peak with a tiny, chaotic savior, his little sister. Daeon charges in like a mini torpedo, hitting Lee Yuji and screaming, "Let go of my appa, evil witch." Yuji is utterly baffled, fending off a tiny human while choking on rage and laughter. Defeated, she revs her engine and vanishes into the night, leaving Waisu alone, holding his sobbing sister in a cloud of romantic ruin. The spark was stomped out by a tiny foot. Cut to a dimly lit backroom. Uncle Yang Jae-wook, or the bald Kai-sang, approaches someone, his expression grave. Now, then, let's talk about the Wu-jin alliance. The line lands like a stone dropping into still water. The schoolyard squabbles may be over, but the real storm was always brewing in the underworld's chess game. Kong Waisu's battlefield has expanded. The true enemies and conspiracies are finally coming into view. Bonus context: on the typhoon scene, as Lee Do-hyuk calls Waisu a typhoon and plots with Kyung-chul, a parallel game is in motion. These seemingly separate events are threads in a larger web. What is the true purpose of the Wu-jin alliance, this behemoth beyond schoolyard fights? And how is it intricately tied to Waisu's own brown bear family? The answers lie in those shadowy conversations. The eye of the storm is upon them all. Bonus context: on friendship, the journey of Waisu's friends, from shock to acceptance, distance to reunion, mirrors his inner turmoil. Petty jealousy fades, and hesitation is overcome by sincerity. True change frightens the fake, but reveals the faithful. As he steps through his family's heavy gates, he doesn't just leave his past behind. He carries with him these bonds forged in truth, a flickering warmth that may yet be his only shield against his cold, predestined fate. The Gangster Heirs Makeover Log. Day 1, Epic Fail. Day 2, Street Brawl. Day 3, Friendship Crisis. Day 4, Relationship Nuke. Day 5, School Expelled. Talk about a speed run. But remember, all this chaos is just the calm before the real storm. When the gym bell tolls and the conspiracy's net snaps shut, this awkward boy in a villain's mask will show everyone, in his clumsy yet terrifying way, exactly who is destined to rule this city's shadows. And that's the tea, folks. Kong Waisu's bad boy progress bar is at a shaky 10%, but his problems are at 1,000%. Ahead, brutal family training. Behind, a school gang ambush. On the side, a furious girl he royally annoyed and a crying sister to soothe. The real war isn't about fists. It's about loyalties, choices, and survival. Next time, the typhoon hits. Stay tuned. Look at this. Shin Kyung-chul's two cronies, Jae-yu and Jang-in, are already lurking around the street corner. They just found out that Jaewon won't be going to school starting tomorrow. Absolutely perfect for their plans. With that hard nut out of the picture, their path is half clear. They waste no time and decide to immediately shift their focus to their real target. The next day, Song Jung-suk walks to school alone. Without Jaewon by his side, the world feels unnervingly quiet. The rustling wind, the sound of his own footsteps, even his breathing, everything becomes too pronounced. He thinks it's just another day to sleep through. He has no idea. This unsettling silence is actually the calm before the storm. A massive trap has already been carefully laid for him. The prey has arrived at school, and the hunters are already in position. During gym class, Shin Kyung-chul can barely contain his glee. He's got the confirmation he needed. GMO isn't here today. With those gangster uncles out of the picture, the plan is halfway to success. He immediately rounds up Jae-yu and Jang-in. It's time. Time to welcome Song Jung-suk at the gymnasium. Revenge burns so hot it's blinding them. Meanwhile, the real mastermind Lee Do-bak has been calmly setting the stage for a while now. He takes a drag of his cigarette and gives his final orders to the alliance members, the ones he lured here under the false pretense of meeting the Brown Bear Gang's heir. The moment that kid steps into the gym, he's finished. The calculation and coldness in his eyes are more chilling than Kyung-chul's arrogance. He's not here for a simple fight. He's playing a game to eliminate a powerful school rival. Inside the classroom, the unsuspecting Jung-suk is catching up on sleep. Footsteps approach. The door is shoved open with a bang. Shin Kyung-chul, newly shaven head and all, strides up to him with a frantic, desperate energy. The other students are frozen, holding their breath. What does this lunatic even think he's doing? Thwack! A heavy hand slams down on Jung-suk's head, violently yanking him out of his dreams. This is Shin Kyung-chul's one-on-one invitation, delivered in the most despicable and humiliating way. He's terrified. His hands are shaking. But that fear is buried under a mountain of revenge-fueled madness. See, come to the gym with me, Brad. Every word screams his pathetic, desperate bravado. Shin Kyung-chul drops his threat and bolts, scared that staying a second longer would reveal his cowardice. If you don't come, you're scared. I'll make you lose all face in front of everyone. He thinks he's setting up a perfect trap, his voice dripping with self-satisfaction. Little does he know, his words are more like a rock thrown into a dormant volcano. The volcano awakens. Song Jung-suk slowly releases his grip on the desk. The drowsiness in his eyes is replaced by a chilling, icy glint. He stares toward the doorway, as if he can see right through the walls to the group of idiots waiting in the gym. You picked the wrong person, Shin Kyung-chul. That isn't a warning, it's a verdict. This fool has no clue what kind of monster he's just provoked. Meanwhile, Shin Kyung-chul, high on adrenaline, scurries toward the gym like an overexcited monkey. His mind is already playing a movie where Jung-suk begs for mercy on his knees. Doo-bok-hyung must have gathered everyone by now. It's in the bag. He has zero idea that he's the cheapest, most crucial pawn in this entire game. Doo-bok's words might as well be echoing in his ear. You just need to lure him over, right? A tool doesn't need to know the whole plan. Shin Kyung-chul is completely brainwashed by Lee Doo-bok, lost in a fantasy of the Alliance brothers ganging up to beat Song Jung-suk senseless. It'll be amazing to film him crying and keep it as a souvenir. He grins like a toddler with a terrifying new toy, completely unaware that the real demon standing behind him is about to crush both him and his pathetic fantasies into dust. Finally, the home court. Shin Kyung-chul pushes open the gym door, panting, thinking he definitely isn't here yet. He's expecting the perfect setup for an ambush. But what waits for him on the other side isn't an empty floor. It's the entire Mujijinjiang Alliance, lined up by grade and school, a sea of faces. In that moment, the very air freezes. Lee Doo-bok stands in the center of the crowd like he's reviewing troops. Park Myong-jun from Chonyuk, Do Won-hyo from Majin. The top troublemakers from every school are here. He's emptied the entire Alliance's roster. This has nothing to do with helping Shin Kyung-chul get revenge. This is Lee Doo-bok using Kyung-chul as a convenient excuse to gather all the school's fighters and establish his own authority. This scene is a drama of epic proportions. The leaders from Jurun, Jin, and Chong schools are present, along with Huang Daehuang, representing the Mu faction. Everyone else is just spectating. Shin Kyung-chul has never seen anything like this. His legs feel weak, but his ego forces him to stand tall, still believing this is all for him. It's tragically naive. Whispers are already starting in the crowd. Where's the Brown Bear Gang heir? Did we come all this way just for Shin Kyung-chul? Back in the classroom, Song Jung-suk rises to his feet. Classmates urge him not to go, saying Shin Kyung-chul has clearly lost his mind. He just sighs, I don't want to play along with his little game either. But sometimes you don't get a choice. When someone builds a stage and points a blade at your throat, your only way out is to take that blade from them. Song Jung-suk pushes open the classroom door and walks toward the stage meticulously prepared for him. Each step is solid, the sound of his slippers on the empty hallway floor echoing sharply. He doesn't know what's waiting in the gym, but he knows one thing for sure. This won't end peacefully. Creak! The back door of the gymnasium swings open. Every single gaze in the room snaps toward it. Shin Kyung-chul's heart hammers against his ribs. He's here. His big day is finally here. The silhouette of Song Jung-suk, his judo bag slung over his shoulder, stands framed in the doorway against the light. For a split second, the gym, packed with over 100 people, falls completely silent. An overwhelming wave of pressure fills the air. Song Jung-suk, today is your last day. Shin Kyung-chul forces the well-rehearsed line past his fear, but his voice sounds pathetic and weak, echoing in the vast gym. The real focus has long since shifted. The Alliance leader's eyes gleam with interest. So that's Song Jung-suk? He's built like a tank. They're not here for Kyung-chul's petty grudge. They're intrigued by the legend standing before them. Shin Kyung-chul panics. He's like a terrible director shouting at his extras. Get him! Take him down! But the chaotic rush he envisioned doesn't happen. A deathly silence hangs over the gym. The brothers behind him just stand there, heads bowed, eyes averted as if someone hit pause. Only Lee Doo-bok seems thoughtful, his gaze fixed on the empty doorway. Speaking of which, where are Jae-yu and Jang-in? Shin Kyung-chul whirls around to see Song Jung-suk walking toward him, step by deliberate step. The look in his eyes is no different from looking at a rock on the sidewalk. Pure terror seizes Kyung-chul's throat. You don't come any closer, he shrieks, scrambling backward. All his earlier bravado evaporates. He's completely bewildered. Where are the promised backup? The plan gang up? Why is he the only one standing in the spotlight? Thwack. No fancy moves are needed. A single, impossibly fast straight punch smashes into Shin Kyung-chul's face. He doesn't even have time to flinch before he's lifted off his feet like a rag doll and slammed onto the floor, skidding several meters. The gym is filled with his agonized wailing and the awful scrape, scrape, scrape of his body on the floor. One hit. KO. The jaws of every single spectator in the room, including those tough leaders from other schools, have hit the floor. They stare at Song Jung-suk's muscles straining against his shirt sleeves, at his terrifyingly calm expression. Only one thought runs through their heads. Is this guy really a high school student? This level of pressure, this absolute gap in strength, it's like they're from different worlds. Shin Kyung-chul is a bloody, pathetic mess, clutching his broken nose. He can't accept this. He turns and screams at the sea of people behind him. What the hell are you all looking at? Get him. Beat him up. But all he sees are over 100 pairs of cold, indifferent eyes that clearly say ignore him. Not a single person moves. Their silence is more crushing than any mockery. It finally, painfully dawns on him. He's been utterly played. From the very beginning, he was just a clown in this circus. His last hope, Lee Dubok. King Shul Klotis Otistro, Holing, Dubal Kung. Give the order. You said you'd help me. The moment those words leave his mouth, another door to the gym swings open. Two figures walk in, arms casually crossed. The black-haired young man at the front steps into the room, and the temperature in the gym seems to drop several degrees. Shin Kyung-chul's brain completely short-circuits. He stands frozen like he's seen a ghost, cold sweat pouring down his face. Ji-mon-tak. Kang Ji-mon-tak. Isn't he supposed to be in special training? Why is he here? GMO just give him a cold glance before turning his attention to Lee Dubok. He tosses out a line, light yet chilling. Was he really worth sending Jung-suk out for? Leave this one to me. Humiliation and terror finally push Shin Kyung-chul over the edge. He staggers to his feet, pointing a trembling finger at GMO and screaming. You son of a bitch. It was cowardly enough using gangsters before, and now you're acting all high and mighty. He's yelling at GMO, but really, he's yelling at himself and this disaster of a situation. GMO just scoffs. You gathered a mob to jump Jung-suk, and I'm supposed to applaud? Cut the crap. Let's fight. Direct, no games. Shin Kyung-chul charges with a roar. What's so great about being in a gang? He thinks aggression can bridge the massive power gap between them, unaware that to true strength, all that bluster is just a joke. GMO doesn't even bother dodging. He just waits until Kyung-chul is right in front of him, then BM. A punch like lightning, faster than the eye can track, lands solidly on his arm. The sickening crunch of bones shifting is unmistakable. The fight instantly turns into a massacre. GMO's hand clamps down on Kyung-chul's wrist like an iron vise. A simple display of grip strength makes the other boy's face contort in agony. This is called grip strength. Shin Kyung-chul sees red. He thinks being left-handed gives him an edge, not realizing that to a real fighter, left or right means nothing. His fist swings through the air, only to be met with GMO's icy critique. Too slow. It hits nothing. Time for the finishing move. GMO exerts force, twisting and crushing the arm at a brutal speed. High-speed dehydration, power rotation. Shin Kyung-chul feels the bones in his entire arm being ground to dust. Let go. Let GOLO. His shrieks echo through the gym, met only by GMO's expressionless final strike. Attack. Thud. Kyung-chul crumples to the floor like soggy garbage, completely incapacitated. GMO walks over to the fallen Kyung-chul, looking down at him like he's trash. Surprisingly, the pathetic loser has one last dirty trick up his sleeve. Suddenly, Shin Kyung-chul whips out a gleam of cold steel from his jacket. A red switchblade. I saved this just for you. Consider it an honor. He thinks a sneak attack can turn the tide. He's forgotten. The person standing before him is no longer the nice guy Kong GMO, who only knew how to throw stones. Ju-woon Lee is being trampled by Sin Jiang-cheol, shame burning hotter than fire in his soul. But as he lifts his gaze, his heart clenches in rage. On Sin Jiang-cheol's finger glints the emerald soul ring, the symbol of his family's power and now, his personal disgrace. Fury and helplessness swallow him whole. Just as Ju-woon is pushed to the brink, unexpected allies step in. Lee Seok-ji and Song Jung-suk intervene. But no one can save Ju-woon from his own demons. His face pressed in the dirt by his enemy's shoe, and that ring on a man's finger is the loudest slap across a decade of lies. Sin Jiang-cheol swaggers away, leaving Ju-woon's shattered pride on display for his friends. Lee Seok and Song Young-suk reach out to help, but he violently shakes them off. His world doesn't need pity right now, it needs power. He walks into the darkness alone, his only thought echoing, take it back. At any cost. Rejecting all offers of help, Ju-woong drags his beaten body back to the starting point he desperately tried to flee, the Boer's headquarters. Seeing his injured face, the men explode in rage. Who dares to touch our young master? This is no longer schoolyard bullying. It's a direct challenge to the Boer's authority. As the enraged uncles are about to storm the school, Yang Jae-wook, the enforcer, roars to silence them all. His voice is ice cold. The young master's war must be fought by him alone. No one interferes. An extreme training regimen is about to begin. Ju-woong's path to revenge starts with learning how to be a true bad guy. The atmosphere in the meeting room is heavy. After hearing about Ju-woong getting beaten up without fighting back, the uncles are fuming. Yang Jae-wook delivers the brutal truth. What you lack isn't resolve, it's the feeling of your first victory. Even if it means beating up someone weaker. The words shattered Ju-woong's last shred of naivety. He closes his eyes and chooses to believe. While Ju-woong's world is dark, Sin Jeong-cheol is coming back to life. After being warned by Song Young-suk, he doesn't back down. He gets crazier. He's convinced Lee Do-bak and the Moja Jinjang alliance will back him. A delusional schemer starts weaving his own revenge plot. With Ju-woong in closed-door training, Sin Jeong-cheol sees his chance. His lackeys, Kim Jae-woo and Park Jang-in, spot Ju-woong's absence. Perfect. He's gone. Let's target his right-hand man first. Their malicious gaze falls on Song Young-suk, walking to school alone. Song Young-suk, you've truly poked a nest of rabid dogs. Sin Jeong-cheol kicks the classroom door open. In front of everyone, he wakes the sleeping Song Young-suk with all the arrogance he can muster. Hey, fight me at the gym. Or are you scared? Song Young-suk lifts his head slowly. There's no anger in his eyes, only a cold assessment. One thought passes through his mind. You, Sin Jeong-cheol, have picked the wrong fight. Sin Jeong-cheol practically skips to the gymnasium, euphoric. Lee Do-bak will have everything set up. As soon as Song Young-suk walks in, in his delusion, Song Young-suk will be pulverized. This fool has no idea he's the mantis, about to be caught by the sparrow. The gym is packed. Lee Do-bak and his core, Moja Jinjang Alliance members are all present. When Sin Jeong-cheol sees this, a manic grin splits his face. It's a done deal. He watches Song Young-suk walk in alone, like a lamb to the slaughter. Get him! End him! He screams in excitement. After his scream, however, a deafening silence falls over the gym. Not a single person moves. Lee Do-bak stands there, hands in pockets, a smirk playing on his lips. His men look on with pure amusement. The smile freezes on Sin Jeong-cheol's face, cold sweat soaking through his shirt. What's going on? Do-bak-yung. Just then, a cold voice echoes from the entrance. Sin Jeong-cheol. How are you planning to end, my friend? Sin Jeong-cheol whips around, as if electrocuted. There stands Kong Ji-woong. Ji-woong strides in, his gaze pinning him down. The horrifying truth dawns on Sin Jeong-cheol. He's been played. Lee Do-bak and Kong Ji-woong were working together all along. Ji-woong glances at Lee Do-bak, who gives a subtle nod of acknowledgement. This so-called alliance was just a ploy to bleed Sin Jeong-cheol dry, before discarding him like trash. Now it's trash time. Ji-woong steps right up to the terrified bully. With the most casual tone, he delivers the most lethal words. I'll fight you. One-on-one. The script is flipped entirely. The hunter has become the prey. The results of Kong Ji-woong's month of hellish training are about to be tested for the first time on Sin Jeong-cheol. Looking at this icy, unfamiliar version of Ji-woong, Sin Jeong-cheol feels genuine terror for the first time. This isn't a schoolyard rivalry anymore. This is a gang heir breaking his leash. Ji-woong advances step by step, and Sin Jeong-cheol stumbles back in pure terror. The uncle's training wasn't just about fighting. It was about dominating an opponent with sheer presence. You wanted a one-on-one? Song Young-suk is here, Ji-woong states coldly. Now it's my turn. No words are needed. Just one punch. Ji-woong's fist smashes into Sin Jeong-cheol's face with brutal speed and power. Sin Jeong-cheol is rocked, blood gushing from his nose. Is this really the same nice guy Kong Ji-woong he humiliated on the ground? One punch isn't enough. Followed by a second, a third. Each blow lands with bone-crunching impact, venting a month's worth of frustration, rage, and heartbreak. Screw kindness, screw the act. Today, Kong Ji-woong is just a pure, unadulterated bad guy. Sin Jeong-cheol is a ragdoll, defenseless against the onslaught. Ji-woong straddles him, beating him senseless. Does it hurt? I was hurting more. Each strike feels like tearing his old self apart. But the more he hits, the more a sickening feeling churns in his gut looking at the barely conscious mess beneath him. Song Young-suk has seen enough. He can't watch Ji-woong become a killer. He rushes forward and grabs Ji-woong's arm, pulling him back. Enough, Ji-woong. Enough. He's out cold. Only then does Ji-woong stop, breathing raggedly. He looks at his own fists, then at the unrecognizable heap on the floor. As the fire of vengeance dies down, a seed of profound confusion takes root in his heart. Ooh, what have I become? Whispers erupt in the gym. Sin Jiang-cheol's lackeys carry him away, but his reign as boss is over. From this day forward, the name Kang Ji-woong becomes a new taboo at Jiran High. And Song Young-suk studies his friend's profile, feeling for the first time that this version of Kang Ji-woong is a terrifyingly unfamiliar figure. But this victory is just the opening move. Across the gym, the members of the Moja Jinjiang Alliance watch with varied thoughts. They help set Ji-woong up, but not just for kicks. His potential value is key to their next move. The real storm is still brewing. Wiping blood from his lip, Ji-woong's gaze slowly sweeps across the crowd in the gym, lingering on the Moja Jinjiang members. His voice, though not loud, cuts through the air. All of you, wait your turn. Sin Jiang-cheol was just the first. The words hit like a landmine, exploding in the heart of every listener. This isn't merely a declaration of war. It's a notice of indiscriminate assault. Park Myong-jun, one of the Moja Jinjiang leaders, instantly bristles. Hey, don't get cocky just because you beat one lunatic. But Ji-woong just stares back at him, his expression chillingly vacant. His old friend Jong-yoon notices something's wrong, offering support with a simple "we're friends." Ji-woong thanks him quietly, but it feels like swallowing glass. He can no longer accept this pure friendship without guilt. He's burying the old Ji-woong with his own hands. Sigh. After helping Dune, Ji-young's anxiety spikes right back up. Both Lee Seok-ji and Soo-jin are now ghosts online. This isn't just strange, it's deeply unsettling. And in the shadows, one man's anxiety is another's opportunity. Sin Jiang-cheol's pack has already picked up the scent of an unsuspecting prey. The remnants of Jiang-cheol's crew, skulking in the alleyways, their eyes locked on the oblivious pair. Asterisk, just as we thought, Ji-young always takes this route. Perfect. Follow them. Asterisk, the gears of revenge turn without a sound. The stalking continues. These rats watch Ji-young by Tekbaki, smug in their concealment. Meanwhile, Song Jong-suk's only thought is bringing his little sister something tasty. Beneath the warm domestic scene, danger is coiled and ready to strike. A heartwarming ambush. On their food run, Ji-young and Jong-suk run into Duil. The little girl Ji-young helped? She's a little sister of the school's toughest hitter. The lines just got totally redrawn. Truth bomb incoming. Watching Jong-suk scoop up Dune, Ji-young's brain blue screens. Asterisk, she's your sister? I'm the last to know. Asterisk, so the whole protect her from weaklings memo. The protector is the school's judo ace? The intel disconnect here is astronomical. Jong-suk's words hit Ji-young right in the soul. Asterisk, helping someone without hesitation, asking for nothing in return. That's cool. Asterisk, for the first time since his nice guy persona crumbled, someone acknowledges the genuine goodness in his past actions. Emotional. Drowning in Jong-suk's genuine gratitude and Dune's asterisk, my brother is weak, but amazing. Vizgichka kritik, Junkis defenses sheter. The hard shell he built over a decade gets cracked open by pure kindness. He mumbles, thank you, but inside, it's an emotional tsunami. Goodbyes come too fast. Promising a future trip to the amusement park, Jong-suk heads off for his routine training, which is about to become anything but routine. Ji-young, still warmed by the moment, is blissfully unaware that a shadow has just fallen over his only real friend. Behind the heartwarming scene, a gaze from the abyss. In Sin Jiang-cheol's twisted view, all this warmth is just kindling. He grins insanely. Asterisk, laugh all you want now. Let's see if you can still smile when you lose what you cherish. Asterisk, look into these eyes. See Duun's smiling face reflected in those pupils. A lunatic, a monster, an avenging demon is on the march. Having lost everything, his sole purpose now is to drag all this happiness down into hell with him. The ominous prelude. Stalking, scheming, malicious stares. Oblivious, Jong-suk even smilingly invites Ji-young to try out the judo dojo. He has no idea that stepping onto those mats today might mean stepping into his last normal training session. Watching Jong-suk enter the dojo, an inexplicable dread finally overwhelms Ji-young. Soo-jin's phone remains dead. He dials frenziedly, The cold, the subscriber you have dialed cannot be reached, a grim omen that something has gone terribly, terribly wrong. Fear has him in chokehold. Call the police? Rush to her place? Panic drowns him. In the end, he runs to the last place he wants to be, home, almost screaming at his uncles. Asterisk, Sujin's been missing for days. Find her now. Asterisk. Aftermath. Every inch of Chung screams in protest. He staggers over to Song Jung-suk, cutting the last of his bonds. It's done, he rasps. Jung-suk looks at him, a mix of awe and pity in his eyes. Get out of here. Clean up. Your sister down is worried sick. Chung nods, but his gaze drifts. Lee Seog is on her feet now, supported by Sujin, her head wound obvious. She meets his eyes, concern there, but also a fierce, unreadable intensity. And Sujin, the girl he protected for a decade, stares at this blood-soaked, hardened stranger with nothing but pure terror and confusion. A sharp pang twists in Chung's gut. He knows it bone deep. The point of no return isn't a place on a map. It's this very moment, and he's already miles past it. The real fight begins. Kang Ji-woong steps into the warehouse alone, looks at Shin Jiang-chul and his 5 goons, and simply drops an icy line. You lot are already finished. Action. Yivok moves. Fist shadows like the wind. The first unlucky soul gets laid out before he can even scream. His gang is instantly terrified. Damn, he's too strong. What do we do? Shin Jiang-chul is caught off guard, but the deceitful bastard immediately pulls out his phone. Can't win? Call in the cavalry. All of you keep him busy. I'm calling the real boss. He's panicking, his meticulously planned revenge derailing from step 1. Meanwhile, the sneaky Lee Seog takes the chance to untie Song Jong-suk. But just as she breathes a sigh of relief, a goon spots her. Thud! A heavy blow to the back of her neck sent her crumpling to the floor, unconscious. Song Jong-suk is free, but the injuries from the earlier beatdown are too severe. He struggles to stand. I'm fine, keep going. He can only watch the chaotic battle unfold, a powerless spectator boiling with anxiety. Ji-woong's combat power fully erupts. One after another. Kim Jae-yu, KO. Kim Yong-woong, you're next. He's like a precise combat machine, coldly calling out names and mercilessly putting them down. Shin Jiang-chul's men are dropping like flies. Seeing his men getting knocked down like bowling pins, Shin Jiang-chul goes berserk. All of you die. He grabs an iron pipe and roars, ambushing Ji-woong from behind. This strike is aimed straight at the back of Ji-woong's head. Ji-woong narrowly dodges with a sidestep. Li Guangwu, it's you? He never expected this minor character, trailing Shin Jiang-chul, would dare swing at him. Fury instantly ignites. You want to go all out? Then let's do it. Seeing this, Jiang-chul panics. He knows he stands no chance in a fair fight. A devious plot sparks in his mind. He sneers at Ji-woong in the brawl. Don't get distracted. But inside, he's calculating. Stall for time. Once Uncle arrives, the game is over. At the alley entrance, a minivan silently pulls up. A burly man with a cigarette gets out, looking utterly fed up. TSK, a bunch of high school brats who can't even handle a simple beatdown. If it wasn't for the boss's orders. The real danger is arriving on the battlefield. Cut to the underworld headquarters. A newbie, Park Woo-jang, kneels before boss Lee Si-won, swearing allegiance. Boss, order me as you please. He's willing to walk through fire to earn that golden ring symbolizing power. But he has no idea this heavy responsibility is a one-way ticket to hell. Back to the warehouse. Shin Jiang-chul, seeing his men nearly wiped out, makes a crazy move. He rips off his own shirt. Now you've got nothing to grab, right? He grins fiendishly, pulling a sharp knife from his back. Let me carve something on that face of yours. The fight just escalated to a life-or-death situation. Shin Jiang-chul, fighting shirtless, becomes even more brutal. Ji-woong gets distracted for a second, checking on the injured Jong-suk, and BM takes a heavy punch to the back. Cough. A sharp pain shoots through him, his movements slowing down. But Ji-woong's gaze only turns colder. You're the one I'll never forgive. He roars, enduring the pain to spin around, landing a heavy blow right on Jiang-chul's face. Trash like you. I can take down even without techniques. This punch is payback. For Jong-suk, for Sujin, for his own 10 years of hidden pain. They're locked in a grapple. But Jiang-chul, armed with a knife, holds the advantage. Cold steel keeps grazing Ji-woong's vital points. Damn it, I can't move. Ji-woong's knees buckle, and he's kicked down. The situation takes a dire turn. Seeing Ji-woong struggle on the ground, Jiang-chul is ecstatic. Why isn't Uncle here yet? He frantically searches for his phone to hurry things along, all while fearing Ji-woong might recover. This mix of glee and panic is both laughable and pathetic. Just as the blade is about to descend, a shadowy figure cuts into the battlefield at a terrifying speed. Kong Ji-woong, move! The newcomer shouts. Is it Uncle Kai saying? No, this aura feels wrong. Before Ji-woong can even get a clear look, a tremendous force locks him up from behind. Huh. He looks up in shock to see a completely unfamiliar, sneering face. Still playing around? Not an ally, a new enemy. The Uncle Jiang Cheol called for has arrived. True despair descends only now. This man called Park Woo-jang. His strength is on a completely different level from the student thugs before. Ji-woong's full-powered punch is caught effortlessly with one hand. It doesn't even budge him. That's it. The man scoffs, throwing a heavy counterpunch in return. BM. Ji-woong feels like he's been hit by a truck, sent flying and crashing onto the ground. Blood trickles from the corner of his mouth. The difference in rank is laid brutally bare. The man strolls closer leisurely, sizing up Ji-woong like a lamb for slaughter. Weaker than I imagined. He looks down at Ji-woong, struggling to rise. No wonder the boss dislikes you. Those words hit like a thunderclap. This is an organized hit. Life or death hangs by a thread. Ji-woong's mind races furiously. Fight head-on. The gap is too huge. Run? His friends are behind him. Uncle Kai Seng said, for a real strong opponent. In a flash, a phrase surfaces in his mind. Super special move. Now's the time. Seizing the moment when the man arrogantly steps closer, Ji-woong uses his last ounce of strength to spring up, betting everything on this move. He concentrates all his power, along with 10 years of frustration and his desire to protect, into his right hand. He moves. Not a punch, not a kick. His 5 fingers form a claw, striking like a viper from an impossibly tricky angle, aiming with lightning speed for the hollow of the opponent's collarbone. Infinite. Claw. Arg. What the hell? Caught completely off guard, the man feels an excruciating pain explode from his collarbone. It's not brute force, but a terrifying technique that penetrates defense and strikes directly at vulnerable joints. His proud defense is utterly shattered. You've all succeeded. He spins in midair, pouring all his body weight and the destructive grip power into that single point without reserve. Crack! A clear sound of bone fracturing. The man's massive frame is forced back for the first time. A desperate counterattack. The once supremely arrogant gangster enforcer is now hunched over, clutching his shoulder, face a mask of disbelief and agony. This brat, actually, Kong Ji-woong, using the trump card taught by his uncle, has forcibly evened the score. But it's not over. The man steadies himself, the scorn in his eyes replaced by sheer rage. You damn brat. Asking for death. He's utterly provoked. The retaliation coming next will be 100 times more ferocious. The flicker of hope Ji-woong just ignited is once again shrouded by an abyss-like killing intent. Next episode, the true hell is only just beginning. It's over. Kong Ji-woong seizes the split-second opening and unleashes his signature infinite pickaxe on Shin Kyung-chul. The sound of crunching bone echoes. He's finally down. Victory? Think again. Shin Kyung-chul, that absolute madman, still had an ace up his sleeve. A real underworld enforcer, Uncle Park Woo-jang, just showed up. This is a whole different league. A high schooler against a real gangster. The gap is glaring. Ji-woong's fiercest attacks bounce off Woo-jang like nothing. In a heartbeat, the tables have turned. Ji-woong is completely overpowered. Woo-jang is going for the kill. For the first time, the shadow of death looms over this underworld air. Then, right in nick of time, the real hunters have arrived. How dare you lay a hand on the young master of Brown Bear? Before the words even finish, the family's heavy hitter, Uncle Gai Sang, steps in and completely dismantles Woo-jang. Welcome to a world of pain you weren't prepared for. Trying to run? Too late. Woo-jang's little escape plans are laughable to true gangsters. The uncles have cut off every single exit. This is what out of your league looks like. The so-called backup Shin Kyung-chul called, lifted off the ground like a rag doll by Gai Sang. Giving up hope now? You were so cocky moments ago. Shin Kyung-chul tries to cry for the cops. Hilariously, the responding officer turns out to be an old acquaintance of Brown Bear. Status reversed. In front of Uncle Gai Sang, Shin Kyung-chul and his entire gang lose all ability to even pretend. They're rounded up and silenced instantly. Ji-woong's side limps to a painful victory. Song Jong-suk is barely conscious, yet still muttering about that thug. Ji-woong urgently asks for his whereabouts. But the answer upends everything. Jong-suk, with his dying breath, points, It was Ji-woong. He ran after that thug. He escaped. Wait a minute. Who's the victim here? And who's the aggressor? Unso Kaisang Vik Ji-woong. Seeing the young master's bruised face, his fury explodes. Young master, your face. This won't go unanswered. They grab a straggler for interrogation. The thug escaped by car. Your face was done by the guy Jong-suk was holding. Pieces connect. The rage finds a new target. Uncle Gaisang's rage manifests in a devastating spinning kick. The unlucky goon flies like a discarded sack, spinning uncontrollably. The hiding punks are terrified. He's not a cop. Clearing the scene. Everyone up, line up. The underworld's order crushes the school punk's reality. Resistance? Don't even think about it. Police wrap up. These once arrogant thugs now stand beaten and broken. Who are the real perpetrators here? The answer is painfully clear. But wait, a dramatic twist. The lead officer, Kim, recognizes Ji-woong. Ji-woong, your face. The secret of his identity, on a deeper level, can no longer stay hidden. The real guardian is here. Brown Bear's young Jae-wook calmly takes charge. Officer Kim, let's talk at the station. This relaxed authority makes it clear who truly holds the reins now. With matters handled, Ji-woong thinks of the others. Uncle, Soo-jin and Seo-ji got hurt too. They should come to the station. His kind core hasn't vanished with the revelation of his family. Arranging the aftermath. Have the girls come too. The young master takes a separate car. A schoolyard fight has been completely escalated and placed on the family's track for resolution. Song Jong-suk leaves first, worried for his little sister. Meanwhile, the uncle's fleet roars in, radiating pure menace. Which bastard dared touch our young master? Ji-woong stays behind alone to handle the final, personal matters. Under the night sky, he approaches Han Soo-jin, who is still trembling from the ordeal. But his concern is rejected. Lee Seo-ji, a bruise on her forehead, stubbornly insists on riding her bike home, sobbing about how scared she is of bad men. This hits Ji-woong harder than any punch. Ji-woong rushes over and holds the trembling Seo-ji. You can't ride. The protective urge he shows is achingly complicated. Someone fears bad men, yet he now has to embrace being one. Han Soo-jin finally speaks, calm as deep water, yet oddly indifferent to the crying Soo-ji. I'm the one who's bleeding. Why is she crying? Then she turns to Ji-woong with a request he can't refuse. Soo-jin starts crying, not from fear, but from an emotional collapse. She pulls on Ji-woong's sleeve. Walk with me before the uncles come. Just around the neighborhood where we grew up. Please. Yivook agrees. They walk towards the streets of their childhood, towards the past. Every step lands on the fracture between memory and reality. Familiar streets, unfamiliar feelings. Wow, I haven't been back in forever. It's so close. Soo-jin tries to recapture the past. Memories flood back. Look, that's where we went sledding. Soo-jin mentions her father, then falls silent. The peace between them is as fragile as thin ice. The nightmare in the abandoned factory is over. As the others are driven away by the uncles, Jaewon stays with Seo-jin, a girl left shaken. Wandering in the night, they find themselves retracing the steps of their shared childhood. Under the dim streetlights, Seo-jin stops and asks softly, Jaewon, do you remember that place? Jaewon looks blank. Huh, where? A flicker of disappointment crosses Seo-jin's face. You really don't remember? Her tone holds a quiet plea, hoping to find a trace of the boy she once knew in the memory of this place. The memory comes flooding back. Seo-jin points, smiling faintly. I used to cry under that bridge all the time, and you'd come to comfort me. A light goes on in Jaewon's eyes. Right, that bridge. In that instant, it all returns. That place is ground zero for his entire mission. Flashbacks show the childhood vow. A crying girl, a determined boy, and a youthful declaration. I want to marry someone kind and gentle. That single sentence became the Bible for his decade-long charade. The sweet memory is a knife twisting in his gut. He hears the echo of the fateful hallway conversation again. The young girl blushing, saying her ideal type is a kind person, like Jaewon. But then the scene shifts. The same face, a casual smile for someone else. Oh, that's what I used to think. But after dating a nice guy, it wasn't that great. She adds with a teasing lilt. Actually, rough bad boys are more attractive. Bad guys are cool. That one flippant remark shattered the entire foundation of his life. The memory morphs into a full-blown psychological torture. His world shattered back then. You said you like kind people? Because you said you liked bad guys, I went insane trying every possible way to become one. Rage and despair consumed him. The glasses wearing nice guy vanished from the panels. In his place, a figure with sharp eyes and aggressive fashion, trading blows on the street with vicious thwacks and crunches. He tore his old self apart, violently remolding into the hideous bad boy shape he thought she'd now desire. From self-doubt to grim determination. In the school hallway, he lashes out at an innocent classmate, Sangu, while internally rationalizing. I'll get strong, beat up all the bad guys, and then I'll be the worst one, right? But beneath the violent act lies a chilling self-awareness. Maybe I really have become a bad person now. The final panel holds a cruel contrast. His hand is being held by another, whose gentle whisper, "What are you thinking so hard about?" highlights the chasm. The boy who waited under the bridge to comfort her is long gone. Back to the present. Seojin pulls him to sit on a low wall by the public parking lot. Let's sit here. It's been so long. A flicker of past warmth seems to return. But from the shadows, a pink electric scooter silently stops. It's Lee Seoji, panting slightly. She tsks coldly, watching the harmonious pair from afar. Her expression is complex, laced with irritation. She mutters, "I really need a smoke." Meanwhile, on the wall, Seojin voices her lingering unease from the factory events, whispering, "Jaiwan, I didn't know your uncles were gangsters. I thought they were just really tough-looking nice guys. A storm is brewing beneath this fragile calm." Seojin, oblivious, steps deeper into the minefield. "Everyone says you're kind and good-natured, so it never even crossed my mind that Jaiwan's family could be Yakuza." This pure, unwavering trust burns him like a brand. His internal monologue bleeds. "I did all of that for 10 years for you, Seojin." Then, she delivers the knockout blow. Her expression turns serious, laced with disgust. "I really, really hate bad people now. Like my dad." Or Sin Jeong-cheol. Jaiwan freezes, a cold sweat breaking out. The person he's desperately tried to become is exactly the kind of bad person she now claims to despise. Seojin is busy constructing a dream, oblivious to the nightmare he's living. Tears welling, she declares with firm conviction, "From now on, I'll only date kind people. Kind people like you, Jaiwan." Each word is a dull blade sawing at his soul. Sweat drips, his mind screams. "Like me, a kind person? I struggled so hard to become bad." The next panel erupts into a horrific visual metaphor. Jaiwan is depicted curled inside the gaping maw of a monstrous, red-eyed bear, his inescapable family legacy. Scarlet text crashes down like a verdict. "But, Seojin, I can't become kind anymore, because I am the successor of the Brown Bear clan." The path of the Yakuza has swallowed all his exits. Seojin notices his strange silence, concern lacing her voice. "Jaiwan, are you okay?" Jaiwan's eyes are vacant. "I don't know." That's the final straw for Seojin. Her lips tremble. A decade's worth of suppressed feelings burst the dam. "For the past 10 years, I like you so much. I tried so hard." The confession is finally out. The moment he dreamed of for 10 years, the one he twisted himself into knots for, has finally arrived. Jaiwan stares at the gloomy night sky. "Seems like I've changed a lot, too." Seojin moves closer instantly, clutching his arm, trying to pull back the Jaiwan she knows. "If you're in trouble, share it with me." Her tone holds an almost stubborn reliance. "I'm the only one by your side, Jaiwan." She presses close, eyes glistening. "My side only has Seojin." It's a truth she believes, a card she's playing. But then, a brutal flashback cuts in. Men in suits crowding around a bruised boy, exclaiming, "There are footprints on the young master's back." He's no longer the lonely boy with only her by his side. He now has an entire dark world standing behind him. Faces flash through his mind. An uncle pats his shoulder, beaming with pride. A classmate smiles in an office, offering friendship. A little girl hugs him, calling him weak but amazing. And his father embraces him from behind, voice full of paternal pride. An internal monologue finally drowns out Seojin's pleas. "No. Now, there are lots of people by my side. These people, supporting, expecting, needing him, have all chained him irrevocably to the destiny of being the Brown Bear clan successor." His decision is made. Jaiwan turns away, refusing to look at her. He delivers the line he's practiced 1,000 times, but this time to her face. "Seojin, I'm the successor to the Brown Bear clan now. Not just any group, the Brown Bear clan." He almost shouts it, as if to shatter his last fragment of weakness. "I can't go back to being a kind person anymore." Stunned by his finality, Seojin doesn't retreat. Instead, she steps closer, a hand on his shoulder, and says gently, "Jaiwan, after everything that happened, I realized you really are an amazing guy." Then, she asks the question that's a decade too late. "I like you. How do you feel about me?" She throws the final choice to the one man who can no longer answer it. The air freezes. Seo-jin clenches her hands, waiting nervously, hopefully. Jaiwon slowly sinks to a crouch, hugging his knees. This is the moment he dreamed of for 10 years. So, why does he feel only hesitation and a crushing weight? Seo-jin breaks the silence, her voice strained. Jaewon, I worked up the courage to confess. So answer me. She's sweating, forcing a smile. Jaewon responds only with silent ellipses, a faint, self-mocking twist to his lips. Watching his silence, Seo-jin's heart plummets. A terrible thought takes root. Could it be, you're staying quiet because you're too scared to reject me? You idiot! She mistakes his anguish for pity. To avoid pressuring him, Seo-jin launches into a new round of heartbreaking concession. Tears in her eyes, she forces a bright tone. Jaewon, if you can't answer right now, we can talk later, right? She even builds him an exit ramp. You need time to think too, right? Everyone's waiting, so let's talk about it another time? Okay. She lays out all her kindness and understanding, hoping benevolence will be the glue. Seeing her like this, the last dam of Jaewon's resolve finally crumbles. He closes his eyes and replies hoarsely, That's better. He accepts this stay of execution, knowing full well there will never be a later. Just as Seo-jin relaxes, thinking she's bought time, Jaewon bends down abruptly, yanking her up from the steps. His voice is glacial. Get up. Seo-jin is stunned into cold sweat. No way. Jaewon, you why decide on later so fast? She stares at the stranger, fearfully testing. You are Jaewon, right? Jaewon doesn't answer. He lets go, turns his back, leaving her only with that unforgiving silhouette and a final, icy statement. I need time to think and to ask for advice. The advice he needs is from his family, from the Brown Bear clan's destiny. And she has no place in that blueprint for the future. Jaewon walks away. The tap-tap of his footsteps echoes on the empty street, each one crushing her last shred of hope. Seo-jin collapses to her knees, eyes glued to the receding back. Her fear erupts into a silent scream. No, this isn't the Jaewon I know. And Jaewon's back. It looks like it'll never turn around. Tears flood out. She screams after him, raw and desperate. Jaewon, don't you like me anymore? Did I do something you hate? Is it because I dated Sin Jeong-cheol? I'm sorry, Jaewon. She heaps all the blame on herself, begging for forgiveness in the most wretched way, praying he'll just stop and turn around. His steps don't falter. Seo-jin completely shatters. She sobs promises to change, pleads their decade-long bond, even drags another girl's name into it in a pathetic bid to compete. Are you dating Lee Yi-ji? I can be better than her. The hysterics boil down to the rawest, most primal plea. I really will change. I'll really try. Please don't go, Jaewon. She spends every last ounce of strength, grinding her dignity and pride into dust on the path he walks away from, and he doesn't even slow down. Finally, he stops, but he doesn't turn. Snowflakes, or are they tears, drift on his shoulder. He tilts his head slightly, mustering every bit of strength to hurl the cruelest, yet most merciful sentence back at the weeping world behind him. Seo-jin, you'd better stop trying. His back remains turned, his voice saturated with exhaustion. It's too tiring. Those words drain Seo-jin of everything. She slumps, only able to utter a shattered fragment of sound. Followed by a heartbroken whisper. Jaewon, the panel freezes. The words bad man are stamped across it in bloody red. The final label he's claimed for himself, and the last verdict he leaves for her. Following the cruel rejection, the scene violently cuts back to a distant childhood, revealing the root of all this tragedy. In a gloomy alley, two bullies chase a tiny Seo-jin, taunting her with a vicious chant. They say Han Seo-jin has no mommy, she gets beaten every day. Little Seo-jin sobbed helplessly. Stop singing, please. Then, a miniature Jaewon appears, a furious little beast planting himself between them, snarling at the bullies. Hey, stop picking on her. Want me to punch you? His reason for protecting her was simple then. They both had no mom. The bullies aren't scared. They escalate the humiliation. Oh, the mommy-less kids helping each other out. Afraid people won't know you're both orphans? One nervously reminds them of Jaewon's background. Doesn't he live with those scary uncles? But the smug boy in yellow doubles down, bragging. I have more mom than the two of you combined. That's the final straw. Child Jaewon launches himself like a missile, kicking the boy down. Stop with the mom this, mom that. His enraged fist follows. I said stop laughing about us not having moms, bastard. That was the first time, using violence to protect her over their shared wound of no mother. It was the first spark of the fury that would later consume him. The conflict escalates. Jaewon grabs the bully's collar, roaring, You two go cry to your non-existent moms. Seo-jin is terrified, trying to stop him. Jiwon, stop. It's wrong to hit people. But even floored, the bully's mouth keeps running. He sees Jiwon holding Seo-jin's hand and jeers with vicious glee. You holding hands? Wow. Oh my god, huh? You two should just get married. That malicious taunt, in their young minds, planted a strange, blurry seed of something else. The bullies flee, scared off. Little Seo-jin looks up at Jiwon, sincerity in her eyes. Thanks for always helping me, Jiwon. Jiwon, the little tyrant who was just a ball of rage, instantly panics, flustered. I am not nice. I'm bad. My dream is to be a gangster. His cheeks tinge pink. Even the background sprouts shy bubbles. Her offhand comment about him being kind flusters the boy who vowed to be a bad guy, stirring a confusing, unfamiliar flutter in his chest for the very first time. Happy moments are fleeting. Seo-jin's father's furious roar echoes nearby. Han, Seo-jin, where has that wretched girl run off to now? The two kids jump in fright. Seo-jin knows she has to go. She smiles at Jiwon. My dad's looking for me. I have to go home. See you next time. After a few steps, she turns back and delivers the line that would become his lifelong shackle. Not having a mom isn't our fault. Hang in there, Jiwon. Her small figure runs off, the pat-pat of her footsteps fading. Her tearful profile remains, with an internal monologue materializing. Jiwon was my only friend during the hardest, most exhausting part of my childhood. No, he was even more important than a friend. She already saw him as the sole light in her dark life, never knowing her own words would one day force that light into an even deeper darkness. The memories keep flashing. In a classroom, a classmate teases Seo-jin. Seo-jin, does Kang Jiwon like you? Wow, you two are such a good match. Seo-jin is stunned, a blush creeping onto her cheeks. For the first time, she allows herself a sweet thought. Oh, really? We're a good match. But the next comment from her friends douses that tiny flame with ice water. But aren't you childhood friends? If you date and break up, it'd be super awkward. You'd basically lose a friend. Losing a friend if we date and break up? I never thought of that. That casual remark became a curse, planting a deep-seated terror in her heart. She couldn't afford to lose Jiwon. Not ever. So, she chose to maintain the status quo, burying her feelings, unaware that this obsession with not losing him would ultimately cause the most complete loss of all. Fear breeds obsession. In class, watching Jiwon interact with others, anxiety gnaws at her. If I lose Jiwon, I'll be all alone. I absolutely cannot lose Jiwon. Cracked background effects emphasize her psychological strain. She resolves, I have to make sure he stays on my side forever. So, she smiles and raises her hand too, joining the conversation with feigned casualness. Hi, Jiwon. She used friendship and a safe distance to carefully fence him in. With a decade of silence and manufactured camaraderie, she meticulously erased the potential future of dating, trapping both of them in the prison cell labeled childhood friends. The montage of memories ends, brutally snapping back to the cold present. On the dim street, only Seo-jin remains, kneeling, hand outstretched toward a long-vanished back. Her sobs fracture in the wind. Jiwon, Jiwon, an internal voiceover recounts her past sense of security. No matter what I did, Jiwon always understood. He was my treasured friend, but now, the one who always understood has walked away without a backward glance. Using her last shred of strength, she begs the empty air. Please, at the very least, don't abandon me. Don't leave me. The night swallows her plea, along with her decade-long obsession and love. It's all over. In a wide shot, Seo-jin's curled form looks like a discarded doll, heartbreakingly small and forlorn on the empty street. But in another corner of the frame, a different handover is silently taking place. Lee Seo-ji rides her pink scooter, carrying an expressionless Jiwon, driving toward a future utterly severed from his past. The engine rumbles, wheels rolling over asphalt. One stays kneeling, drowning in the past. The other rides away toward a dark future with no return. The pure, white chapter of childhood sweethearts is slammed shut at this moment, locked forever. Jiwon sits on the scooter's back seat, face hidden in shadow. They stop outside a parking lot, waiting for the arranged pickup. Lee Seo-ji breaks the awkward silence nervously. Ah, you made it? Sorry, were you waiting long? Jiwon replies mechanically. And no, not at all. She studies him, asking gently, but, Kang Jiwon, are you okay? Jiwon flinches slightly. Then, like a machine pushed past its limits, he forces out the words with every ounce of strength. I'm Fina. But the close-up tells the truth. His eyes are bloodshot, tears and sweat mingling as he teeters on the edge of breaking down. He has no strength left to play any role, not the good guy, nor the bad man. The night wind is cold. Lee Seoji puts on her helmet. Jaiwan urges her, let's go. The uncles will come get Seojin later. The engine roars to life, wheels clack into motion. They don't speak again. The scooter carries the two of them away from the memory-laden street, away from Kong Jaiwan's tumultuous adolescence as an ordinary person. He has ultimately chosen the thorny, one-way path. The girl who once waited for him under the bridge, left sobbing on the curb, along with the kind Kong Jaiwan he played for 10 years, are all buried together on this night. He finally turned and walked away. That sentence was his last and most painful farewell to the good guy Kong Ji-woong of 10 years ago. Behind him, the childhood dream lay shattered in the sound of her kneeling and crying. He didn't dare look back. Just one glance would make his 10-year-old fortress of pretense crumble instantly. But tears, in the end, betrayed him. In the shadows where no one could see, Kong Ji-woong clenched his jaw, swallowing the sob in his throat. Each tear she didn't see was a bullet he personally fired into the past 10 years of his life. It's over. All of it. Someone was waiting at the street corner. Lee Seoji's gaze was complex. She didn't ask, just patted the back seat of her scooter. The engine roared as the pink scooter carried them into the night. As the wind whipped past, he could feel her slight tension and the ruins deep inside him where light could no longer reach. Neither of them mentioned the forgotten helmet. At this moment, what Kong Ji-woong needed wasn't rules and regulations. He needed an escape from that farewell from his past self. As for the consequences, he'd worry about those once he caught his breath. They reached their destination. A black sedan waited silently outside the abandoned factory like a sleeping beast. The door opened. Seeing the lingering ferocity and fresh wounds on the young master's face, the expression of the uncle named Jian Ho instantly froze. He knew the factory fight was far from being the end. To the old neighborhood, Kong Ji-woong gave the command almost instinctively the moment he got in the car. Sujin's phone was still busy. A chill deeper than the enemy's blade, a sense of dread, began to viciously gnaw at his heart. He had buried his past with his own hands, but her safety was now his only obsession. The car stopped at a familiar street corner, but everything had changed. The empty street echoed his call and mirrored his current confusion. The place was deserted. He had pushed away the princess he'd protected for 10 years, and now couldn't even confirm if she was safe. What is karma? What is irony? He understood it now. The busy signal in the receiver was another kind of sentence. Standing under the streetlight, Kong Ji-woong felt the city was frighteningly unfamiliar for the first time. He had won the decisive battle in the factory, yet it felt like he had lost the entire world. Sujin, where on earth are you? Cut to the police station. It's no quieter inside than outside the factory. Shin Kyung-chul and his lackeys are bruised and battered, yet they're still making their last and most foolish attempt. Daring to play the victim in front of Inspector Kim? This is the best dark comedy of the year. We're the victims. Shin Kyung-chul's bald head gleamed under the lights as he shrieked hysterically. He tried to conflate his own vile actions with the beating he received, attempting to muddy the waters with nonsense. Unfortunately for him, he forgot. This isn't the street where fists make the rules. Slam! The inspector's palm hit the table hard. Still lying? The iron curtain of justice began to slowly descend upon these arrogant thugs. Did they think coming to the police station was just a formality? Sorry, the real game is just beginning. Hearing the words sentencing, the thugs finally panicked. Their earlier arrogance was instantly extinguished by cold sweat. Some still stubbornly claimed both sides were at fault, while others were already thinking my dad's going to kill me. Fear is the best sobering agent for them. However, their fear came too early, because the real trouble came from outside the station doors. Accompanied by a screech and the sound of shattering glass, someone staged a dramatic parent storm the police station scene. Shin Kyung-chul? He's done for. Completely done for. What are you doing sitting there, hero? Kim Young-woong's mother charged in like a black tornado, her high heels beating out an angry rhythm. She wasn't here to save her son. She was here to show off that my family has connections. Unfortunately, this time, those connections might just backfire. You can't do this. It's obstruction of justice. The officer struggled to hold her back. The woman, however, sneered, "Do you know who his father is?" A classic case of power plays. But when the inspector in green roared, "He's here because he assaulted someone," silence fell. Power had met a truth that couldn't be bought. The mother began to panic, name-dropping the police chief, shouting through the station. She tried to drown out the fact of her son's wrongdoing with her voice and connections. But she forgot. When everyone knows the water is murky, stirring it only reveals more filth. An even more ironic scene unfolded. To exonerate her son, this mother publicly called his friends a bunch of idiots and obstacles. The expressions of the thugs cuffed in the corner shifted from numbness to resentment. Look, this is the world around the big brother you followed. One voice wasn't loud enough? Let's bring in another. Park Jang-in's father made a flashy entrance, tattoos and a strong street presence. His question even more direct. What did my son do wrong? He thought he could solve everything with sheer presence and connections, just like on the streets. Boys fight, it's part of growing up, the father said dismissively. But a group assault is special violence, the inspector countered bluntly. A fierce clash of values. One side, outdated street rules. The other, the inviolable red line of the law. Conflict is imminent. Hearing that sentencing might actually fall on their own sons, the parents exploded. They used the kid's future and the school violence committee as shields, trying to downgrade a criminal case to a school disciplinary matter. In their eyes, their child's future mattered more than the victim's pain. For a moment, the parents seemed to have control of the situation. The thugs even started to look smug, thinking they could slip away like before. Kim Young-woong's mother urged her son to leave quickly. But in the back of the crowd, Yang Jae-wook's brow was furrowed. Buying time? No. He was waiting for the right moment to strike a fatal blow. The moment arrived. Yang Jae-wook stepped forward, his voice not loud, but each word was like an ice pick. Assaulted 2 individuals, beat 2 girls. And also, driving without a license, an additional charge. One casual sentence completely shredded the parents' fig leaf of just kids roughhousing. Driving without a license. Those 4 words detonated like a bomb in the station. It was the ironclad evidence, the turning point. The inspector in green immediately seized on it, demanding answers sharply. Seeing the situation spiraling out of control, Park Jang-in's father tried to play the connections card, dropping the names Brown Bear Gang and Boss Kong Han-guk. But what he never expected was that this move kicked the proverbial iron wall. Yang Jae-wook smiled sleekly. You know our boss? Perfect. The person your son beat up is our boss's son. The air instantly froze. The parent who was so aggressive just moments ago went deathly pale. Yang Jae-wook didn't waste words. He acted. He cleanly twisted the man's arm, delivering the most terrifying warning in the calmest tone. Don't interfere, or I'll call the boss. Gangster logic, simple, brutal, and particularly effective against these people. One crisis was temporarily suppressed by the threat of violence. The parent front began to crumble. One was intimidated into silence. Another mother was sweating bullets, realizing the situation had taken a dire turn. They finally asked the most critical and most desperate question. Where are the victims? Right? If the victims didn't pursue it, maybe. Enter. Before the words even faded, Kang Ju-woong, Lee Seo-ji, and Song Young-suk walked into the police station side by side. Their footsteps echoed in the empty hall, each step landing on the thugs' already crumbling hearts. Kang Ji-woong's gaze was icy as he enunciated the full names of the 6 assailants, one by one. Witnesses, accusations, evidence of injuries, all present. Lee Seo-ji showed the wound on her head. Song Young-suk recounted the kidnapping. Finally, the trump card arrived. Lawyer Jang, impeccably dressed in a suit, laid out the charges clearly: special violence, special injury, auto theft, driving without a license, and the final recommendation: transfer, expulsion, and criminal liability. Shin Kyung-chul and his crew, who were just fantasizing about getting off with community service, were instantly plunged into the abyss. Lawyer Jang's line, "These guys' lives are over," declared their fate. But the punishment wasn't over yet. Yang Jae-wook's icy question followed. Where did the car come from? The car thief, the driver, stepped forward. This question became the straw that broke the camel's back. It was also the perfect weapon to sow discord among this motley crew. The pressure instantly shifted to their internal ranks. Who stole the car? Who was the driver? To save themselves, they began the ugliest of internal conflicts. And desperate gazes, as if on cue, all turned to Shin Kyung-chul in the corner. Shin Kyung-chul is cornered, but the vibe in the interrogation room is off. His 2 cronies are still screaming. Tell them it wasn't you. They have no clue about the depths of his despair. He knows, no matter what he chooses, it's over. Might as well go out swinging, taking the biggest fall himself. Maybe there's a twisted kind of dignity in that. So he coldly admits it. He stole the car. He was the driver. The scars on his face now tell the story of a man who has surrendered completely. Meanwhile, Yang Jae-wook, the strategist of the Brown Bears, is watching nearby. His eyes say it all. He's seen this dirty game of scapegoating 1,000 times. Some poor sap is offering his life to save those higher up. Jae-wook sneers internally. This trash actually has a twisted sense of honor, holding his tongue even when crushed. But the real question is, who's forcing him to stay quiet? While the officer in green barks orders for an investigation, the true predator is already scenting a rat within his own ranks. Yang Jae-wook's mind isn't on Kyung-chul at all. He's focused on that stolen white car with the local cop. His gut screams that Kyung-chul is just a pawn on the board. The real target is still swimming free. His chilling calm stands in stark contrast to the flurry of police activity. When he says, the person we need to deal with is someone else, the first real crack appears in this whole facade. The game has just begun. Using a clueless high schooler as a perfect patsy to take the fall, this classic cut off the tail to save the body strategy. Yang Jae-wook knows it intimately. He even politely leaves the station to avoid interfering. But outside, his calm facade cracks completely. He thinks about how quickly their organization has been exposed lately. It's unnaturally fast. The horrifying truth slams into him. This isn't bad luck. It's betrayal. The enemy is inside. The frame freezes on Yang Jae-wook's face, etched with conspiracy and rage. Behind him, Uncle Kyung-sang's X-shaped scar looks like a silent warning. I don't want to admit it, but the enemy is inside our organization. This is a declaration of war. From this moment, the Brown Bears are no longer a solid unit. They must watch their backs, turning to face threats that might come from within. Under the night sky, the police station's sign glows like a cold tombstone. Jae-wook and Kyung-sang head to their car. His internal alarm is blaring at maximum volume. That slick cut-the-tail move required intimate knowledge of how their syndicate operates. The young master's exposure, the enemy's impossibly fast reaction time. It all points to one chilling answer. A traitor. The thought coils around him like a venomous snake. In the parking lot, his underlings report dutifully. But Yang Jae-wook's mind is already miles away. As soon as he sinks into the back seat, the call comes. Emergency meeting tonight. Trouble, as predicted, never stops coming. He closes his eyes and takes a deep breath. This isn't the end. It's the beginning of an even uglier war. A war that will be fought against his own. In the car, the atmosphere plunges below freezing. Jae-wook casually drops the bomb. If there were a traitor in our group. Kyung-sang immediately explodes, eyes blazing, begging for the chance to personally eliminate the rat. Jae-wook just smiles, a terrifying, utterly cold smile. Yes, that's right, we have to kill him. The statement is both an answer and a decree. A bloody internal purge is already brewing. Cut back to the police station entrance. The officer is offering comfort to the heroic Ji-woon and his friends, promising the bullies will pay. This good cop has no idea that the students before him are tangled in a web of syndicates, betrayal, and power plays so complex it would shatter his worldview. This school violence case is just the tip of a bloody iceberg. The officer jokes, calling Ji-woon the pride of the Brave Citizen Awards. It's like rubbing salt directly into an open, festering wound. Look at Ji-woon's face, drenched in sweat, heart visibly shattering in his chest. The dam breaks. He chokes out an agonized confession. I'm sorry, officer. I'm a bad person. I'll never get that award again. The decade-long good guy persona is not just dead. He's scattering its ashes himself. Everyone wants to go their own way, not wanting to be a burden. Especially Lee Seok-ji, insisting on riding her own scooter. But Ji-woon puts his foot down. He insists they go together, his tone brooking no argument. While calling his uncle, he takes charge. The timid good student is gone. Giving orders now is the heir to the Brown Bears. The moment they step outside, the entourage is back. Suits, sunglasses, the reverent chorus of young master. Song Young-suk and the others watching can only exchange stunned looks. Their worst suspicions are confirmed. Ji-woon isn't just a rich kid. This is a full-blown mafia prince. The charade, for them, is officially over. Young-suk is ushered into a separate car. He insists he's fine, we'll see a doctor tomorrow, but everyone knows he's hurting. In the back seat, watching the city lights blur past, his mind isn't just on his physical wounds. He's probably thinking about where his dangerously complicated friendship with Ji-woon is headed next. It's Seok-ji's turn, and the vibe does a 180. The two uncles go into overdrive, fighting over the front seat, threatening to tattle to Kyung-sang, and finally declaring themselves scarecrows, begging to be ignored. This isn't a ride home. It's Cupid on steroids, forcing a love connection. Seok-ji plays it cool on the outside, but internally she's celebrating. Are you for real? Go on, uncles, don't stop the juggle. Inside the car, the air is thick with unspoken tension. The two scarecrows up front keep dropping hints. Take your time, young master. You two make such a lovely couple. Ji-woon is sweating bullets, begging them to just drive. But seconds later, his inner monologue screams victory. They are totally shipping US. This is the golden opportunity I've been waiting for. The gap between his awkwardness and internal excitement is priceless. Seeing their plan stall, the uncles switch to improv comedy. One blames the other for killing the mood. Then, a flash of genius. One turns and hits COG with the ultimate question. COG, what do you like about the young master? Boom. Masterstroke. Ji-woong's face short-circuits into a meme, but he's internally cheering. Meanwhile, COG's brain just blue-screened. Question. Successfully delivered. The car pulls up to where COG's scooter is parked. The two drama kings are still in character. If the young master decides not to come home tonight, I'll explain everything to the boss. They might as well have flashed a neon sign saying go get a room. The car drives off, leaving Ji-woong and COG standing in the chilly air. Watching the taillights disappear, they can only share a look of exhausted amusement. The uncle's enthusiasm is a force of nature. By the purple scooter, the mood turns delicate. COG tells Ji-woong to hold on her waist. A nearly direct invitation that makes the air sizzle. And what does he do? Ji-woong, the living embodiment of clueless male, wraps his arms around her and immediately switches to serious doctor mode. The hospital first. You have a head injury. How does he turn a romantic moment into a public safety announcement in 0.5 seconds? COG is probably mentally cursing him out 100 times over. The scooter zips through the streets. Ji-woong is screaming in terror behind her, convinced she's delirious from her injuries. They rush to the hospital, only to find out she's completely fine. False alarm. Seeing the little bandage on her shoulder, Ji-woong finally exhales in relief. At least something went right tonight. Little does he know, the real surprise is just around the corner. Outside the hospital, COG is all smiles, teasing him that she won't even have a scar and joking about how much worse he got beat up. Ji-woong is squirming, a mix of embarrassment and guilt. Just when he doesn't know how to make it up to her, she flashes a mischievous grin and plays her trump card. If you're so sorry, promise me one thing. Well. Karma has arrived for Kong Ji-woong. COG puts on her best queen act. Get on your knees and beg for mercy. Probably just a joke, right? Wrong. Ji-woong, the absolute earnest fool, looks like he's actually about to kneel. COG panics, waving her arms, yelling she was just kidding. Plot twist. Ji-woong grins triumphantly. Me too. I was also joking. Oh, perfect. Two mischievous souls trying to out-trick each other. Enraged, COG chases him down for a playful but firm beating. After the chase, they collapse on some steps, laughing hysterically. COG wheezes that her wound is splitting open from laughter. Ji-woong chuckles and says, I think I'm really becoming a bad guy. It's half a joke, half the truth. On this night where he can be himself, playful, a little mean, not the perfect good guy, the real bad man Kong Ji-woong might be starting to enjoy it, just a little. The mood suddenly softens. Ji-woong thanks her for letting him hit her, then adds, even though you're bad, you're a good person. What is that, a bad boy seal of approval? The words hit COG like a bullet to the heart. She flushes crimson from her face down to her neck. Her breath catches, words failing her. Oblivious, Ji-woong just asks, what's wrong? Clueless to the nuclear-level emotional bomb he just dropped. COG has officially crashed and needs a reboot. Blushing, sweating, her own heartbeat thundering in her ears. Ji-woong misreads it as anger and scrambles closer to apologize, closing the distance. The proximity only makes the tension more palpable. COG squeezes her eyes shut, feeling all the blood in her body rush to her face. Okay, that's it. She's done for. But Ji-woong, the human embodiment of a brick wall, still doesn't get it. The more he asks, the more flustered she becomes. Finally, COG snaps. She whirls around, unleashing a torrent of insults. Loser. Trash. Can't read the mood. And storms off. Ji-woong is panicking now, arms flailing, begging her to come back. Which, of course, only makes her angrier, leading to another verbal smackdown. One frantically chasing, the other raging. A truly unique method of relationship development. Amidst the chaos, a tiny pink missile launches. Kind but weak, brother. Evil demon sister on the inside. Song Young-suk's little sister, Doon, comes charging out of nowhere, unleashing a barrage of justice on COG, mostly via headbutts to the leg. The scene shifts instantly from rom-com to a family defense drama. Ji-woong and a startled Young-suk can only stare in disbelief. What fresh chaos is this? Ji-woong wants to cry. The perfect mood ruined by this tiny tornado. He tries to explain, but saying the mood was so good just now is the final straw for COG. We were literally beating each other up. You idiot. Is it your idea of a good mood? Furious, COG revs her scooter and takes off with a take care of her sister. He's left chasing after her, yelling, "At least have dinner," while her engine roars into the distance, all accompanied by a little girl screaming, "Idiot!" Behind him, pure, un adulterated chaos. Little Deun is in tears, worried her brother was bullied by the bad sister. Ji-woong kneels, his voice gentle, assuring her he's fine, giving her a big, comforting hug. The hug is warm, but the look in Ji-woong's eyes is layered and complicated. Once Deun is soothed, there's more pressing business. He needs to talk to her brother, Young-suk, about something dangerous, the Mu-ji-Jinsang alliance. The shadow of the underworld falls once more, right behind this sweet sibling moment. Close up on Song Young-suk. The sweat on his brow betrays his tension. Ji-woong speaks, his tone calm, but the word like a boulder dropped into still water. It's about the Mu-ji-Jinsang alliance. This colossal entity lurking in the shadows of the school and the city is finally being laid bare between them. A dangerous conversation is about to begin.